Hello, I'm going to talk about logic bombs and time bombs. So, what I'm going to talk about are what are they, how you can prevent them, some use of logic bombs, that's the another title, logic bombs in the news, and then I'm also going to give a small demo of a logic bomb I made myself. So, what are they? They are basically malware that uses a trigger to go off. So, you can also see it as delayed virus. It can be used to do almost anything. With that I mean that you can use anything to trigger the malware and you can use anything as payload. You also have two types of bombs. You have a time bomb and logic bomb. A time bomb is a logic bomb where you use time as a trigger. So you use a date, a time, or a date and a time. And then a logic bomb, a real logic bomb, is where you use logic. Someone who clicks something, someone who doesn't log in for a certain period of time. So how can you prevent these logic bombs? They are not easy to detect, so a good antivirus is always good to have, but for this it won't help. They can be deployed from everywhere, from inside your company or inside your network, and also from outside your network. So what you can do to prevent them is don't download or click on suspicious files. For example, don't never click a .bat file. Also be careful with pirate and free software because logic bombs and time bombs can be embedded in the installation of these kinds of software. For companies, you can also have separation of duties, which means someone who doesn't has to do something with some type of data or program shouldn't be allowed to handle it. And you should also have a second person who will make sure there are no malicious attempts by the first person when he does something. So, for example, if he changes security settings or supplies you with new code or a new software, you should make sure that it doesn't have malicious attempts. So, some cases where logic bombs were used. Logic bombs can be used by insiders or by outsiders. Some cases where it was used by an insider was in Fannie Mae. It's a company, and one of the IT guys there wrote a script that if he was fired, so if his name wasn't in the payroll database anymore, it would wipe all servers. Luckily for them, it was detected. Another company that was hit by a logic bomb was Want, and in the company Want, an employee that was fired logged in with his old credentials and installed logic bombs on certain computers, and on restart the computers would fail and corrupt their own computer system. And they guess it has cost them $49,000 in damage. Some cases where it was used by outsiders, it was in the Whois attack. There was an attack on an ESP. The ESP was called LGU Plus, and they used the Dark Soul malware. Also, the Ukraine power grid was hit by a logic bomb, and in that case, the hackers installed a logic bomb that disabled the power grid. So big parts of Ukraine didn't have power on that moment. And now I'm going to show you my little demo. So for my demo, I made two scripts. You can see here. I will show you the content of the script. So first you have a scheduler, and the scheduler uses PowerShell to make a new task. This would be run when a program installs. This would just be waiting on the trigger from this task. So what does the command do is PowerShell, it's a PowerShell command. Here it makes a new action, and the action is to execute this logic bomb. Then you have also a new trigger we make, and this trigger is to do the action once at this time. This is the UTC time, so this is behind our time. So that's why it says 6:30 and not 7:25. So I'm going to put that at 6:40, so this will go off in 5 minutes. Um, New schedule settings, I leave that as this, and then I give it a random name just so that it doesn't overlap with other tasks. And then to complete all this, I register the scheduled task with the action, the trigger settings, and the name. I also have added this message here, but that this is just for testing purposes. Um, there's also alt echo off and CLS. This is to hide all the commands that run so that it's more in the background. And then in the logic Bulma I made, I didn't put any harmful code. I just made it say a message. But I have found a link where they show some horrible things you can do with in a batch script. So like your for remove your system32, your Windows 32 file, remove your bootloaders, remove other important shit to make your computer work, or even format format some drive. So now we are going to schedule the task. The task is now scheduled. We can close this one, and then when this will turn at 7 o'clock 38, it will launch the logic bomb, which will say bomb exploded. And yeah, if you put something malicious in here, some malicious code, that would be much worse than what would happen now. So now we are just waiting. Yeah, so with test, you could basically do anything. As trigger, you could also add other things like when a certain person logs on, like we see now, the bomb has exploded at exactly the time and the right date. So yeah. So as trigger, you can also put other things like when this person logs on, make the thing go off. So like maybe when an administrator logs on, you could log certain things he does, so you can get more information about the system they are running or something else. I think with this setup, you could almost do anything. So thank you for listening and watching my video. Bye bye.